Type, "How should I retire?" into a public chatbot, and you will likely get a confident, highly polished set of instructions. But relying on that broad question creates a dangerous environment for financial hallucinations, inventing facts and projecting outcomes that leave you severely underfunded. Human financial advisors provide a much safer route. They audit your actual statements and apply deep context. However, securing that expertise often costs thousands of dollars, and testing a single new scenario might require weeks of waiting for a revised simulation. We can close the gap between those two extremes. By feeding a language model a highly engineered, multi-layered set of instructions, we can use 2026 economic data to generate robust, professional-grade scenarios in seconds. We are going to deconstruct the exact text you need to submit to a language model to convert it from a basic answering machine into a high-level retirement strategist. The difference between financial ruin and algorithmic success in 2026 comes down entirely to how you constrain and command the machine. Large language models are designed to be helpful, which makes them natural people-pleasers. If you leave their identity blank, they will guess what you want to hear, often pulling from generic or unvetted financial blogs. We stop that by opening the prompt with an exact command. Assume the role of a fee-only, fiduciary-certified financial planner. A fiduciary is a professional bound by a legal and ethical obligation to act strictly in the client's best financial interest, rather than pushing products for a commission. Applying this specific constraint overrides the AI's default behavior. It neutralizes algorithms trained to recommend sponsored financial products, securing an objective baseline before you enter a single number. Once the persona is locked in, you have to provide financial context. The ironclad rule here is to never input your personally identifiable information, account numbers, or login credentials into a public AI tool. Instead, we use a method called aggregate then summarize. You total up your assets locally, then provide the AI with only safe, high-level variables: your current age, your total aggregated savings, and your risk tolerance. Next, you have to anchor the AI in the present. If left alone, it might rely on outdated training data. You must explicitly force the AI to base all of its calculations on the current 2026 Internal Revenue Service tax code. This bar chart compares the quantitative scale of the baseline limits you need the AI to recognize. For 2026, the standard 401k contribution limit is $24,500. But if you are in your early 60s, you must also instruct the AI to factor in the newly expanded $11,250 super catch-up limit. You also need to establish accurate income baselines. Your prompt must command the AI to calculate future Social Security distributions utilizing the new 2026 cost of living adjustment of 2.8%. Combining safely aggregated data with these hyper-specific 2026 tax codes forces the language model to abandon hypothetical math and generate strategies you can actually execute. The final layer of the prompt pushes the AI past its standard function. A typical model will generate a single linear set of instructions. We need to break that structure. This flowchart illustrates a framework known as tree of thought reasoning. You instruct the AI to evaluate your data by simulating multiple divergent futures simultaneously, like testing your savings against a prolonged bull market and then immediately testing it against a deep recession. By processing these branching pathways, the AI generates 3 entirely distinct portfolio strategies, each optimized for a different economic reality. You get to see how your money behaves under stress before the stress actually arrives. To close the prompt, you issue one final command. Instruct the AI to explicitly list what data it is missing to make its proposed plan flawless. Forcing the AI to question its own inputs and map multiple economic outcomes strips away its blind spots, effectively eliminating the risk of hallucinations. Let's look at the mathematical payoff of using this engineered prompt versus taking the default path. Looking at this split-screen graph, the left generic plan features a slow financial growth curve that plateaus early, bleeding out to inflation. The right engineered trajectory maximizes super catch-ups and navigates hidden traps like the Medicare ARMA cliff, yielding an exponential compound growth curve. You can find the exact text of this super prompt in the description below to copy and paste for your own scenario planning. High Reasoning AI is an incredibly powerful synthesis engine that can evaluate decades of tax code in mere seconds. But while the algorithm serves as an unmatched financial co-pilot, human discipline remains the captain of your wealth.